Hey guys, how's it going? Oh, it's a bit warm up here today, but we're getting a little bit done. There's a few things to sort of talk about and yeah, do. We're still going on with that. I've got the steering wheel off it now. I've got the steering wheel off this one too. That was a bit of a mission. I do have a little bit of footage of that. I don't know, I'll put it in somewhere so you can see it. Nothing really much major. Yeah, the engine's on its way for the super down there. I've made a start on that, but there's been a bit of a debacle with the first video on that, so yeah, I'll get you. There'll be something on that, I don't know what, but yeah, I made a bit of a boo-boo, so the first video is rubbish really. So yeah, but yeah, the topic of today's video is what else has Joe bought. Now, you know what I'm like, I'm a sucker for a good vintage item, I suppose you'd say. Generally all Fordson related. So yeah, this one was, I saw this one come up for sale a while ago. Wasn't listed with a price though, and I looked at it and went, that is way too nice for me. And I never ended up inquiring about it, and then the ad disappeared and I forgot about it. Until I was chatting to a mate of mine, well, yeah, I suppose you call him a mate of mine, a bloke I know who's into the vintage equipment. Well, I should say into Fordsons. Him and his father, I think, have something like 30 Fordsons between them, of all different all different models, I should say, not makes. I think there's a few other things in there too, but anyway. He was saying, yeah, it didn't sell. Oh, okay, and he knew the fellow who owned it. He'd already been looking at it. So, oh, okay. So, yeah, I made some inquiries, found out where the guy's at and what he wanted for it, and a few prices were sort of roughly thrown around before I'd inquired about it, and yeah, I was umming and ahhing because it was a little bit much. And then when I actually got to speak to the guy, he said, oh, I want this much for it, and I went, oh, that's substantially less than I thought it was going to be. So yeah, we brought it home. So say hello to my 1945 Fordson Model N. This has been a bucket list tractor for me. I've always wanted an N. I don't know why, I just really like them. And yeah, it's the wrong colour. It's an older restoration, it's been sitting for a long time. And yeah, the motor's free. Has every sign of life that it probably should. I haven't checked spark or anything like that, but it looks like she'll be a goer. The only thing I'm not disappointed, but you know, could have been better, is it's got this Howard rotary hoe with it, and I have no love for it whatsoever. It's cool, but it's just completely useless to me. Which is fine, that can come off. The only annoying part is there's no guards on it because of the rotary hoe. So, oh well, you know, beggars can't be choosers. I've wanted one of these for a little while, but I've only ever seen two for sale in my state. This one and another one a number of years ago. That was nearly twice the price of this one. But it was a little better maybe. But it was a similar thing to this. Older restoration, someone's bought it, parked it in a shed as part of a collection, and that's it, that's where it stopped. So yeah, same sort of deal, should go, but hasn't been run for a long time. So yeah, this is her. I'm gonna have to either get a blanking plate or a belt pulley to delete the drive for the rotary hoe, because it's like obviously like a live drive type deal. It has E27N headlight brackets with some CB Super Oscars attached to it that are a bit howdy doody. It's got odd tyres in the front. That doesn't really bother me too much. The back tyres are usable. That's your engagement for your rotary hoe system. The guy was under the impression, well, someone who looked at it said to him, he reckons this hoe system wasn't designed for this tractor. It was like put on off a different tractor or something. I've seen a couple of these sort of designed units, but they've all been on like E27Ns, so there might be some truth to that. I don't know. Yeah, steering wheel's a little rough. Tank looks like it might not be too bad. Yeah, it turns over. That's about as far as I've gotten with it. I'm not going to do much with it today. I might pump the tyres up a little bit, and yeah, that's about it. This is just a very preliminary sort of walk around. The owner I got off had it running. He drove it into his shed. He did say when it was running, the engine sounded a little bit more noisy than he thought it should be. So I think we're going to probably delve into the sump just before we start it. Just have a look, pull the sump, clean everything out in there, and because from everything I've found out about these engines and stuff, that you don't want to blow one of them up, because yeah, that's a bad time. The engine is dated to 45 via the engine number. I haven't found any codes so I can date the rest of the tractor. It might have a replacement engine, so I don't know if you might be able to see that. So it's 980640, and I looked it up just on tractor data, and they seem to say that that is the last year of manufacture. But yeah, all the really important stuff is there. I don't know if the J pipe type exhaust is the right one for this or not. I don't know. Being a last era of production, that might have been factory. So I'm assuming that would have been what the early E27Ns would have had on them. So that sort of makes sense, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, it's got the oil bath air cleaner, which is, you know, correct for this period. It still has the temperature gauge, which looks in reasonable condition. I don't know if it works or not, but yeah, I can't really tell. Obviously this tractor was sandblasted, because there's like a greyish sort of primer, which you can sort of see there under everything, and it's uniform across everything on the tractor. So it's sort of very hard to say what or where, or you know, what bits are original, what aren't. But to be honest, well, beggars can't be choosers. It is what it is. It's a nice little unit. It'll be nice for me. I'm really happy it's on rubber. I don't know if that was originally spec'd with rubber tyres, but it's got them. But that's far better from what I do. Steel would be cool, but yeah, hard to transport, make a lot of mess of the paddock. It's not really going to see the field, this thing. I think it'll probably just go to tractor shows and stuff, and that's about it. What else can I say about it? Not a lot. There's not really much to see. It definitely needs some front tyres on it, because that one's pretty pooched. I don't know how well this is coming out because it's very glary today, but the sidewalls are starting to give out in that. So it's 60016. I'll take a photo of that and take that with me. I might be able to get a couple. The rears will go again, they'll be fine for a bit. It's got like a military tyre on this side. If I could find another one of these, I'd be quite happy just to run them. But even that's starting to go a bit in the sidewall, but it's still good enough to use. Yeah, so I don't really know much about the casting numbers on these, where they are or what you can look up with them. But that might be the next thing, so I'll check something major on the back end compared to the engine and see how they sort of line up. But yeah, no, I'm really excited about this. Another bonus, these are fairly light, so if I remove the rotary hull off it, I'll keep it, I reckon. I don't think I'll get rid of it. Remove that, make sure there's no water in the tyres. I should be able to put this on a standard car trailer and take it to shows. Shouldn't be a problem. As long as it's a decent car trailer, you know, we should be pretty right. Because that's the only thing moving tractors around here. Like, there's not a lot of like the setup you guys use in the States and stuff with big F-series trucks and Dodge Rams with gooseneck trailers. Like, that's not really, it is an option here, but you know, you're probably $150,000 to set that up. Like, you're half a house sort of worth of money to be able to set that up here. They are very expensive, and there's not a lot of people with them. We're starting to get into fifth wheel and gooseneck campers and stuff. They're getting pretty common. But I went past one of them the other day, second hand, on the side of the road, and it was $65,000. It was fairly new, but yeah, you know, it's not an option. That sort of money, sort of thing. Especially like when you look at one of these, you'd spend, yeah, over $100 to get that set up to tow a $4,000 tractor around. So a lot of people have, you know, stuff like the old Acco's, just an old Japanese tray truck or something. If they got a bit more money, they might have a tilt slide tray. That tends to be what a lot of them use. Or the boys who've got a bit of money who are into agriculture and stuff, they'll have a full float and prime mover set up. But that's a lot of money to keep that on the road every year. So even though it's not really that much money outlaid, if you bought a cheap ratty old float and a cheap old prime mover, you know, you could probably nearly do it for 60, 50, maybe even less if you're really scrounged. But yeah, you're looking, I think it's truck's 2.5, it's probably 3,500 in registration without insurance to keep that on the road. So having something little like this that you can tow behind a normal vehicle is a big bonus if you want to go touring around with it and go to shows and stuff. But yeah, so that's her. I don't think there's a whole lot else to say about it, except yeah, I'm really excited about this. I don't know if it's going to make an appearance anywhere this year. Maybe next year. I don't know. It's sort of hard to say. It needs a good scrub, I know that much, but I just noticed someone's, because it was in an auction, so it's got stuff written on it to say, you know, the motor's free and was running and all this stuff scrawled all over it. So I might be able to get that off, but the paint's not the paint's not that great on it, so I've got to be careful what I do. Otherwise, I'll take more paint off it than is already on it. As you can see by, yeah, the transmission, the differential housing, sorry. She's not the best paint job. Looks like the primer was done really well, but the paint, not as much. But yeah, I've still got the name and number of the guy. He's got a couple of Fordsons up there. I've got my eye on one of them. I don't know if it's going to come up for sale. He said he might sell it. Don't know what he wants for it yet, but that's another one I don't have. So really all I'm missing now is I'm missing an F, a Dexter, and I don't have a Fordson, what they call a farm major, but I don't know if we're going to be bothered with one of them. Essentially it's a power major with non-weighted wheels and a few frills taken off, like a more budget model. I think it was an Australian only thing, but essentially you look at the power major, it has farm major instead of power major in the same style of badge, and has essentially the British style wheels on it. That's it. I don't think there's much else. A few people say that the engines are different and, you know, all this other stuff, but all the ones I've seen for sale and looked at them, they all seem to be the same. So yeah, I don't think I'll bother with one of them because it's just not worth it. So yeah, really I'm missing 2 models. So yeah, Dexter won't be hard to get. Model F might be, but I'm sort of, now they've got this, I don't. If I got a Model F that was, you know, not really worth saving, just so I can say I've got a Model F as well, I'd probably be happy with that. Because, well, what's the point of having two tractors that are nearly identical? But, I don't know, we'll see. We'll see. I might end up coming up with a nice Model F, but yeah, you never know. Same thing as these though, Model Fs do not come up very often. And occasional ones I think I have seen for sale generally tend to be good for garden art, and that's about it. They're fairly well done. Unlike this thing's quite nice. He did actually have an F there, but the F was already sold. Because a friend of mine who got me onto this said he still had this. He actually bought the F. So, doesn't matter. She was pretty rough, but it was mostly there, I think. Had good guards on it. Which, no, I suppose they're different to this, but yeah, that's the one thing. I wouldn't mind some nice guards for it, but they're not exactly like easy to come by commodity. Probably even harder than the whole tractor. But we'll see. Something might happen there. I'll keep you posted if I find anything nice. But yeah, so we'll do a couple of videos on this thing, getting it up and running again and seeing what she does and what she doesn't do. Yeah, so I'll probably do a fairly in-depth video. I don't know how it's all going to pan out. You'll probably see more of that thing before that. So there's a couple of other things in the pipeline. So this thing might get put on the back burner for a little bit. But yeah, she looks pretty good. I'll go around and free everything up, and there's a few things are sticky, and yeah, just get ready to get it going. I don't know how well the spark plugs will want to come out of it, but it does have the original two-piece ones in there, I think, which is sort of cool, but they're pretty rusty, so yeah, we'll see how we go with that. But yeah, that's her anyway. So leave a comment what you think of her and what you know, what, if there's anything you want to see about it. So, and I'll sort of keep bloody tinkering away with this while doing the crane. The crane's getting to that point where it's probably not that many videos left on it. I've just got to get the time to do it. So, and yeah, I think then we're on to the new performance engine swap and the, well, I don't know if you can see the block sitting in the container there for the other super major. So they'll probably be the next ones coming along. We might do some stuff to the E27N while we're at that as well. So I might have a lead on a new tank for it. So if we can get a new tank in it and hopefully get it to hold some water, I might be able to drive it around. Take it for a bit of a spin, which would be nice. So, anywho, all you guys, like, share, subscribe, let me know what you think, and I'll catch you all in the next one.